Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Much appreciation to everyone that has subscribed. We managed to hit the 500 subscriber mark and it's all thanks to you. The game week is not yet done as we have a match today between Bournemouth and Southampton, and I believe some of us still have some assets in those two teams. But much as it's not yet done, we already have people ranting about the kind of week it's been. I think in game week 4 we had a LinkedIn post of someone who mentioned how it was that kind of game week. He did make a follow up. Here's a list of all the ways that we've been similarly bent over today in true FPL fashion, because it was clearly that kind of weekend as well. Robot blanking, Virgil finally scoring and giving a middle finger to all of us that had transferred him out, especially those in the wildcard week. Raya, there was that whole conspiracy about whether he'd make it or not start, and then he finally started, but it was all useless at the end of the day as the Arsenal defenders dropped points and conceded. Then obviously Haaland blanking, but he had captain Saka, so that finally worked for him at least. Saka, who we also expected to also hold against Leicester, didn't manage to, but at least he did grab the 3 bonus points, as we shall finally get to that. Cole Palmer getting 4 goals, and anyone that didn't have him really, it was not that good of a weekend. Everton finally won a game, and guess who scored? It was McNeil, not DCL. I think I mentioned this on Friday, mentioning how in true FPL fashion you can all run for DCL and instead McNeil holds and performs. So he did get a brace. Diaz blanked, obviously Liverpool's clean sheet was wiped. Trent missed out, was booked. Konate, in this one's case, he took out Konate and Robinson for his wild card and put in Wood. And as we know, we saw how all that went. Then obviously Ipswich also going ahead against Aston Villa. So it was that kind of that kind of week. But we look forward, like we always mention, it is indeed not a sprint; it is a marathon. So we look forward, and we continue to work towards the teams that we have. So we'll go ahead to review the weekend games and what we picked out of the different games. Starting with the Newcastle Man City game. Obviously, Man City did lose its clean sheet earlier on. Ederson blanked. He went ahead to also get booked, so it was a 1 pointer from Ederson. Haaland, for the first time, he was stopped by a defense. Newcastle defense managed to nullify him. He only stopped at 2 points. It was too bad for us that captained him. Gordon obviously did score the penalty. Virgil also got the only Man City goal. Foden was benched and came in much later on. And then Gundogan made really some not so good decisions because he had a chance where he could have put Haaland through like 2 times and he ended up trying to attempt to go for goal. So that's how it went really. But I don't think you should read much into it because it was one of those games. It was an early kickoff. Man City was away. So stuff like that does really happen. Next was the Arsenal and Leicester game where Justin, who weirdly had double Arsenal defense, it's weird that Justin, he himself wild carded this game week and he brought in two Arsenal, I think he had Raya and one of the Arsenal defenders, and it was really ironic that he's the one who wiped out their entire their entire clean sheet scoring twice. So he did hold as well with 12 points. Then Saka, much as he did play very well, didn't have any contribution, but he at least managed to get the 3 bonus points, which are subject to review. So we hope he can remain within the bonus points after recalculation after today's game. Trossard with 11 points, Martinelli with 13 points. So that's how the Arsenal game really went. I think it was they conceded with really the lowest expected goal expectations against, because Leicester just had, I think, a few attempts on target and they all managed to score with both of them. So it's not something, it did hurt people that have double Arsenal defense, but it's not something I would look that much into, so you should be okay. The next was Chelsea Brighton. This was the match that where Palmer took over. He had the hat trick in the first half in like 40 something, 30 something minutes. He was already on a hat trick. In like 41 minutes, he was already on 4 goals, 25 points. For those that didn't have him, it really does hurt. But now I know there's going to be that influx of very many people trying to rush and get him, but you need to also pay attention to his fixtures and see what best time to bring him in, because I know he plays Nottingham Forest next. Then after that, he has a run of some difficult games. We shall go to that as we get into my transfer plans. Next was the Everton Crystal Palace game. I talked about this in the rant of the week. McNeil with 3 bonus points scored 2 goals. Those with Dominic Calvert-Lewin were nowhere. He was nowhere to be seen. He got a yellow card. Ended up with just 1 point, while McNeil had 15. The other thing I'll talk about is Eze. Personally, he's one person I've been patient with from the start of the season, but I finally, I think, gave up on him, and I'll talk about the different people that I'm going to be bringing in. But Mbuemo is one person that I do not have in my team, and he's in pole position to take over. The Liverpool Wolves game, Konate scored the Liverpool goal. Salah managed to come up at least with a penalty for those that captained him. Diogo Jota, who was highly transferred out, managed 2 assists. So it was basically that, and obviously Ain't Nori as well did come up with 9 points. He scored the goal for Wolves as well. Ipswich Aston Villa. Rogers, most of you had benched him, especially those that were on the wild card. He came at least with 7 points. He scored 1 goal. He left a bit early with I think he had a hamstring injury, tight hamstring or something. Yeah, but then Watkins scored and assisted. He had 11 points. Delap, who is a budget striker, someone to think about, had 2 very good goals for Ipswich. And then I think Davis also played well. He didn't contribute really, but at least has one of the bonus points, and that's because he really did play, had a very good game, and I think he should have assisted at least once. Then the last game of yesterday was Spurs and Manchester United. I have a number of friends on the channel who keep on saying we don't say much about Manchester United, but the team is going through a certain phase really that makes it hard for one to have any conversations about their assets. Bruno was one person that all of us really brought in at the start of the season thinking he would really get it done, but his performances have been lackluster. He himself came out recently to apologize to the FPL managers that owned him, but even after then, the situation has not looked up. He was red carded yesterday with a -2. Solanke with 6 points, Johnson with 2 goal contributions on 11 points, but he got a yellow card. Van der Ben with a wonderful run that set up the first goal with 12 points and the clean sheet. So that's how it basically went. Besides, and if you looked at the match even before the red card, Spurs was really on top of Manchester United, which is really worrying. And had it not been for Nana, you fear the score would have gotten worse. So last I talked about my transfer plans. I talked about Mbuemo, whose high chances will be coming in for Eze, and that's how it's going to pretty much look. I think captaincy, I'll probably maintain that on Haaland, and the rest I'll have to see going forward. Forget, for those that are making quick transfers, they are midweek games, so you need to pay close attention to the midweek games and do not rush to bring in people. Thank you. FPL responsibly. Take care.